Thank you very much, Arif Sahib, for joining us today and sharing your thoughts and reflections on accommodating the existing city post-Corona. Thank you very much. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much for having invited me to discuss this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what I have learned during this period of lockdowns and deaths and large infected populations. Well, the first thing that I have learned is that there is an enormous generosity in people. They have, and organizations, in providing rations to the affected population, to the poor settlements. But there is one big problem. It is very difficult to systematically organize this distribution. We have not been able to do it well enough. And the reason for that, in my way of thinking, is that the lowest rung of local government is not effectively organized. It doesn't really function. So our thinking is that this rung of government, which on paper is extremely suitable for dealing with these issues, should be developed, should be empowered. And if that is done, many of the problems that we faced in providing relief and in implementing the SOPs would be overcome. Especially because we are going to lose about 28 million jobs in Pakistan, and the worst hit will be the city of Karachi. So in the future, what I have proposed is that we have a huge public works program. Even if it means just filling in potholes in the roads, that's good enough. Painting buildings, repairing sewage lines, laying new ones, managing garbage. And if there are skills in medicine and education, then through those skills, upgrading the medical facilities and the education facilities. It will give us a tremendous support for the future. And also, it will make it possible for the organization to link with local communities, which in some cases it does. So this is one aspect that. The other aspect is that before Corona, the city was in the process of gentrification. Populations were being displaced, space was being taken over from the poor for the rich, especially in terms of heritage and space in the center of the town. That has to roll back, that whole process of gentrification. And I think there is no other option except rolling it back. Otherwise, there'll be increased insecurities, there will be an increase in poverty. The state has to declare that there will be no further evictions. I think that also needs to be pushed a little bit, and I think we will succeed in that as well if the process continues, which has taken off. Along with this, we need to support the street economy, which employs about 300,000 people, because that is the only manner in which we can provide jobs. The street economy needs space, its supply chain needs loans, and this aspect is something that the local government is only now beginning to understand after the Corona issue came up. and joblessness came up. I would also like to take this opportunity of saying that to promote this street economy, there should be no more malls for a period of 10 years. Construction of malls should be put an end to. Another aspect is the building and zoning regulations. In zoning and building regulations, the space per capita for low-income groups has to increase. At present, it is far too small for any form of family life. And the space per capita for higher income groups should reduce considerably so as to conserve land. And the process of densification for the high income groups should be initiated, should be supported. In addition to that, there is a need to curb speculation so that land in the center of the city can be brought into use, and that use should be for low income groups. After Corona, I think we are in a position to push for that. We've been pushing for that, but we are in a better position now to push for that than before. And we feel that this should be accompanied with a land reform, urban land reform, where we should increase substantially the non-utilization fee on land and property. That is one aspect. We should initiate an urban land ceiling act under which one person can own more than 500 square meters of urban land. I think that is extremely important that we do that. And also, no person who has already got a loan for constructing a house should be given another loan. So these are some of the things that we have put forward. But I think the most important thing in all this, there's a dog barking, so please, that is not something I can control. There is, however, one very important thing that we need to understand and do. There's a lot of talk about how the world will change, how we will have new building bylaws, how the cities will evolve. But the fact remains that the city as it is, the city we have, is not going anywhere. We cannot demolish and reconstruct it. So the most important thing is, how can we make this existing city, which is going to be and going to remain much larger than anything we will create in the next 20 years. How are we going to make this city more livable? And how are we going to make it more safe, more respected, more resilient to phenomena such as the virus that we are facing today? And here, in my opinion, and what I have seen, the good large provincial and federal institutions such as the Disaster Management Authority cannot function unless the local departments of urban management are effective. So thank you very much for having asked me to speak. I've given you my thoughts. I've tried to be realistic, tried not to have any put across any ideas that are difficult to do with what I have said, it would be a beginning. There will be other things that follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arif Sahib, for sharing your thoughts. I have a question. So you mentioned a number of actually issues that needs to be addressed. For example, gentrification, building regulation, not construction of malls, for example, which is very much connected to that gentrification. Imagine if we want to do something. So what do you think the first priority would be? And what should be the first step, in a very practical thing? And I really like your realism, basically. Thank you.
I think the first thing really is to move very quickly to the development of the lowest rung of local government and to link it with community organizations that exist and to enter into a process of mapping that lowest rung and training people to map it. And we have the knowledge for that. We can begin that. Secondly, I don't think right now asking the government to say there are not going to be any evictions or rollback gentrification, we don't have to ask that because it's already rolled back. It won't happen. The conditions are such that it will be very difficult to happen. So this is something that we can discuss with them. But what I think is important is the understanding that this city as it is going to remain. It is not going anywhere. So academia and local government has to deal with this city rather than talk of major reforms. You can talk about that 10 years later. Right now you have this city and you have to deal with it. So let us understand the issues of the city. The issues related to built environment, high densities, about which we cannot do anything immediately at all. Utilities, especially the collection of garbage and its disposal. These are all that the lowest rung of local government can manage if it is given the responsibility. Its people can manage and make a living out of it. So I think that is the most important thing, as I've said, is developing this rung of local government.
Thank you very much. And it was very inspiring. And I really like the idea that this current city doesn't go anywhere. And basically, maybe this pandemic and the whole situation, everyone is locked down and everything is another push for moving towards a just city, basically.
Well, one will have to work very hard for that, because I think the global powers and their local allies would like to bring back the situation as it was in a new fashion with a new vocabulary. I feel one has to resist that.
Thank you very much.